Hello, my name is HQ of HQ Reacts. Welcome to my channel. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button, share the stream, and click the notification button for new content.
Hello, 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 hello. This is the beautiful Tuesday. And we are here talking about voting rights and what's happening tomorrow. Right? Let's get this to the stage. All right, what's going on?
The Supreme Court is hearing an important case about the Voting Rights Act, which is aimed at addressing persistent effects of discrimination against minority voters. The case concerns the congressional map in Louisiana. There are currently 2 majority black districts, and one of them is at issue at the Supreme Court. The state of Louisiana drew a map after the 2020 census with just one of its 6 districts having a black majority in a state that is about 1/3 black. Civil rights plaintiffs sued over the map. They won a decision in lower federal courts. And then Louisiana drew a new map, creating a second black majority district that also had the effect of protecting important Republican incumbents in Congress, including House Speaker Mike Johnson. White Louisianans sued over the new map, and they won a lower court ruling that map was itself racially discriminatory against white voters. The Supreme Court initially heard arguments in March, but did not reach a decision. Instead, the justices asked for a new round of arguments, which is a rare occurrence at the Supreme Court that sometimes suggests that the justices are about to make a major change in the law. This is the court's latest case that involves gerrymandering, which is the practice of drawing electoral districts with a particular result in mind. This case involves drawing districts with race in mind. And so far, the court has allowed some consideration of race in the drawing of districts at the state, local, and federal level. The Louisiana case being considered at the Supreme Court now could make it harder, if not impossible, to draw such districts if the court's conservative majority is receptive to arguments made by both the Trump administration and the state of Louisiana.
Now, tomorrow they hear oral arguments for this Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Now, we definitely do not want them to abolish Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Otherwise, the redistricting that is going on now in Texas and every other Republican state will draw the lines where black and brown voters won't have a say in their local governments, and they won't have representation in federal the House and the Senate.
The United States Supreme Court will hold a hearing this week regarding the congressional maps of Louisiana. The court will hear arguments in the case of Calais versus Louisiana. This case originates from dispute in 2022 regarding a congressional map at that time. A group of black voters filed a lawsuit in federal court claiming the map violated the Federal Voting Rights Act, which prohibits voting practices or procedures which discriminate based on race or color.
A federal district court sided with the black voters and barred the state from using the map for future elections. The Louisiana legislature would later draw a new map in 2024 known as Senate Bill 8, which created a second majority black district. But a group of non-black voters argued the same congressional map was an unconstitutional racial gerrymandering, which weakens or suppresses the voting power of a specific racial group. The court will hear arguments from both sides to determine if a state can violate the 14th or 15th Amendments to the U.S. Constitution when drawing election maps to comply with the Voting Rights Act. The hearing will be held on Wednesday.
So that's happening tomorrow. Tomorrow. They're hearing the arguments tomorrow. So, hold on. Let me move myself into a big screen right there. Okay, we in the big screen. Okay, we there. So, guys, since the beginning, since the founding of this country, right? The right to vote has never been easy for women. You know that. Been easy for black people or brown people. We know that. So in the early days, the ballot box was reserved for 21-year-old white men, landowners only, a small, very small privileged group that decided the fate of all of us, right? But as America grew, right, so did our understanding of the democracy, understanding of the votes, people that were required to vote. So we learned how to get the real freedoms required for participation. So that meant participation had to open up, and so we had to give voting rights to everybody. Okay, that's why we have the voting laws. Okay, they exist because history said that without those people who are in power will silence the voices of the people who need to be heard the most. So from poll taxes, literacy tests, modern forms of voter suppression, all kinds of people are going to start trying to suppress the vote for this 2026 election that is coming up. So there's been a concentrated effort to make it harder for certain groups, especially black, brown, poor, and young, to be heard. So this is where we are at right now. And most people don't know. And I don't know whether I heard something about Charlie Kirk was advocating against the Voting Rights Act of 1964 or not. And I can't remember whether he was or not advocating for that. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, the Voting Rights Act, this is the Voting Rights Act. Where did the voting rights, how did it come to be? Voting rights are the legal rights that protect citizens' ability to participate in elections, to register, to cast a vote, and to have votes counted fairly. They're a cornerstone of our democracy because they ensure that everybody's vote matters, regardless of race, gender, income, and background. But that wasn't always the case, right? So the beginning in the late 1700s, okay, when the United States was founded, voting was not for everybody. Not everybody could vote. Only white men, usually people that were over the age of 21, could vote. The Constitution didn't originally define who could vote. That was left up to each individual state. As a result, early voting was extremely restricted and excluded for most Americans, except white men. That's why I said to y'all that this country was built for white men. So I don't understand how somebody like Charlie Kirk was walking around talking about white men were the victims of whatever the hell they were talking about being a victim of. I still don't understand white people being the victims when this country was founded or this country was made and developed for them. So I'm still confused about that. So as a result, early voting was extremely restricted, excluded mostly all of us, including women, black people, brown people, Indians, Native Americans, poor white people who didn't own land. Okay. Voting was excluded for these people. Okay. So through amendments that we got, Amendment 15, which came along in 1870, after the Civil War, the amendment was made, and it made it legally made it illegal to deny voting rights based on race and color. Okay. However, many states used poll taxes, literacy tests, and intimidation to keep black people from voting from the polls for nearly 100 years. The 19th Amendment. So the 15th Amendment, the 19th Amendment granted women the right to vote after decades of suffering. The 24th Amendment was 1964. That ended the poll taxes in federal election, which had been used to keep poor and minority voters from voting. The Voting Rights Act of 1965. This was one of the most powerful civil rights laws ever passed. Okay. It outlawed discriminatory practices like literacy tests, required states, mainly the southern states, to get federal approval before changing voting laws, and led to massive increases in black voter registration and participation. Amendment 26, that was in 1971. It lowered the voting age from 21 to 18. Something to do with the war draft. Okay, if you're old enough to fight, you're old enough to vote. Okay, so even today, the voting rights are still being debated and fought over. Voter ID laws, purging of the voter rolls. Every time we get this same bullshit that happens through the Republicans, mostly the Republicans, where they want to change the voter ID laws, they want to purge the voting rolls, they want to limit polling access, date times and dates and all this other kind of crazy stuff. Okay, they always wanted to, if a true robust electorate shows up to vote, the Republicans will lose because they have shitty policies. So in 2013, okay, the Supreme Court, Shelby County versus Holder, right? They struck down a part of the 1965 Voting Rights Act, removing the requirement that some states get federal approval before changing their voting law. So in 2013, the Supreme Court shot that down, saying that states didn't need federal approval to change their voting laws. Since then, there have been new disputes over gerrymandering, which is the problem we're having today, because the Republicans are trying to change their maps now so they can get more, so they can eliminate black and brown voters or eliminate black and brown districts so that their districts are favorable for them, because they understand that they have a shitty uphill battle to win in 2026. So now they're starting to cheat. If they can't win legally, they can't win fairly, the Republicans are going to cheat. Okay, so since then, there have been new disputes over the gerrymandering, the mail-in vote, access of minority and disabled voters. All of these things have come up. Okay, in short, voting rights protect the voice in democracy. So we want to protect those at all costs. Okay, we want to protect those at all costs. 1776 to 1800, only white males 21 years or older could vote. 1856, North Carolina became the first state to remove property ownership requirements for white men. 15th Amendment came along first. 19th Amendment, 1924, the Indian Civil Citizenship Act granted U.S. citizenship to Native Americans, allowing them to vote. 24th Amendment ends poll taxes. in federal elections, which kept the poor people and minorities from voting. 1965, the Voting Rights Act came along. Landmark registration. Law registration from President Lyndon B. Johnson. Outlaws literacy tests. Requires certain states with histories of discrimination to get federally approved before changing voting law. 1971, the 26th Amendment. 1982, strengthened the Voting Rights Act. 2013, the Supreme Court weakened the Voting Rights Act. Okay. 2020, there's always been an ongoing debate, new fights over voter ID laws. Okay. So here we are tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to hear the most important part of the Voting Rights Act. Okay. This Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Okay. And it's all because of something that happened in Louisiana. Wait a minute, I forgot. Something happened in Louisiana. It was in the video where they wanted to change the maps, and they wanted to change the gerrymandering map. And so the Supreme Court heard it earlier this year, but they said they weren't going to hear it until tomorrow. So now they're going to listen to the oral arguments tomorrow. Okay. And here's the thing. You are not supposed to change your maps, districting maps. You're not supposed to change those maps except every 10 years after the census. But more and more, we've gotten Republican governors to start changing those maps ahead of time. It's illegal, but by the time voting comes around and they go to court to fight against this, the voting has already occurred. Okay. So right now, this is what we have. We have I think it was sometime this week, or this week last year. Was it last year? No. It was some kind of way in which Donald Trump got in touch with the Republicans. And the Republicans decided that they were going to change the maps for redistricting, so that they could take more representation from the black districts in Texas and Louisiana. Okay. So now this is where we're at tomorrow, and we're hoping that we don't get number 2 or the Section 2 knocked down. Because if we get the Section 2 knocked down, then that means every other state can start changing their map to any way that they want to change their map. And they can change gerrymandering to do whatever they want to do in gerrymandering. And that doesn't bode well for black and brown people and people in minority places. Okay? It doesn't bode well for that. So so Supreme Court is hearing the arguments it's called Louisiana versus Calais or something like that. Calais. It's a case about congressional district maps in Louisiana that may reshape the future of the Voting Rights Act. Oral arguments are tomorrow. Okay? So all of the people involved on the left and the right, they have submitted their supplemental briefs, or they will be submitting their supplemental briefs on whether the maps violate the 14th and the 15th Amendment, which protects equal protection and voting rights based on race. Okay. A decision, I guess, is expected next June. It's expected then. Okay. Also, there's also another case in Illinois before the Supreme Court concerning an Illinois law. Okay. Now, what's at stake? What's at stake? That we need to strengthen the law, the Voting Rights Act, especially Section 2. Okay. Especially Section 2. Yeah. But the whole point is, they're trying to change the map because their shitty Republican policies are not working for the people. That's why they're trying to gerrymander the maps. Okay. That's dumb as hell, Unbreakable with Chris. You sound dumb as hell. Do you know that? Okay, so we're trying to strengthen the Voting Rights Act, Section 8, which is a key part of the Voting Rights Act that prohibits voting practices that discriminate based on color or race, even if there's no explicit discriminatory intent. If the court rules that any use of race in drawing the map violates the Constitution, or that Section 2 is unconstitutional, the protections minority voters currently have could be severely weakened. Many current and historical legal challenges against discriminatory district maps depend on Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. If the Voting Rights Act gets gutted, the legal tools to challenge the vote dilution would shrink drastically. Then you would have minority representation and political power that would reduce your political power for Black and brown people all over the land, all over in every state. The map under dispute involves creating a second majority Black congressional district in Louisiana. That's the Louisiana fight to comply with earlier court rulings. Okay. If the Supreme Court rules in favor of the challengers, the people who said it's unconstitutional, those who saw the new map is a racial gerrymandering, I guess, it might force Louisiana and the other states to draw maps in a way that reduces or eliminates districts where minority communities reside. So we're hoping that they either strengthen the Voting Rights Act Section 2 or they get rid of Section 2. It's still needed because we're looking at it in real time. It's needed because we're looking at it in real time. Because minority districts lean towards one party. Okay, fine and dandy. Then that one party needs representation. We can't all be, nobody wants to be a Republican that ain't a Republican. It just ain't gonna happen. Most people who aren't Republicans don't want to be Republicans. Okay. So weakening those protections could allow more aggressive gerrymandering in favor of the opposing party. So we don't want Section 2 to go away. Okay. And there's a bunch of constitutional questions that come along with them touching the 14th Amendment, which is equal protection, and the 15th Amendment is the right to vote regardless of the race. So it may limit or permit states' use of race it may eliminate that, and then we won't have the representation we're supposed to have. Okay, so a ruling can change in the ruling can overturn precedents on when race can be considered in district drawing. So we have to see what the argument, who makes what effective argument. Okay, who makes the most effective argument? Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act is really at the heart of almost every major voting rights case, including the one that's before the Supreme Court. Okay. So Section 8 says no voting law, rule, or practice may be used by any state or local government in any way that results in discrimination against voters on the basis of race, color, or membership in a language minority group. Basically, what it says is no one can change voting rules or draw district maps in a way that weakens the voting power or racial ethnic minorities. Okay. It applies to voting procedures, registration, early voting, mail-in ballots, all of that. District maps, how lines are drawn for Congress, state legislatures, and city councils, and election methods, like a large versus single district voting, etc., etc. Even if a law or a map doesn't say race outright, right, it can still violate Section 2 if it has the effect of diluting minority voters or making it harder for certain racial groups to elect their preferred candidates. Okay? But the whole point is, we have a problem if this gets taken off the map. Okay? To prove a Section 2 violation in redistricting, courts use what's called a Jingles test from 1986 Supreme Court case. Minority voters must show three things. They are large and compact enough to form a majority in a single district. They are politically cohesive, meaning they tend to vote for similar candidates. And number three, the majority votes as a bloc to usually defeat those candidates. If all three of those criteria are met, the court may require the state to redraw its map to ensure minorities have a fair chance to elect candidates of their choice. So that's what I hope. Okay. So people say Section 2 is essential for stopping racial vote dilution and ensuring minorities have real representation. Critics say that using race to draw maps, even to help minorities, can itself violate the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause. The current Supreme Court's conservative majority has shown interest in narrowing how Section 2 can be used, which could make it harder to challenge gerrymandering or discriminatory maps. Okay, so Section 2 is the main legal weapon protecting minority voters from being silenced through redistricting or unfair election laws. If the court weakens that Section 2 tomorrow, it could reshape how racial fairness in elections is enforced. So, this is what we got going on right now. Donald Trump called up Texas. Donald Trump publicly and privately urged Republican-led states, Texas, Missouri, Indiana, to redraw congressional maps, even though it's illegal to do so, except in the year 00, that ends in 0, the years that end in 0. 2020, 2030, 2040, etc., etc. The next real redistricting is supposed to be in 2030. Okay? But Donald Trump called up Republican voters, Republican-led states. And he said, I need 5 seats, I need 6. So what they're going to do is they're going to redraw the map, and they're going to redraw the map so that the map, instead of it being a smaller district that represents the black and brown communities in Texas, they're going to redraw the map so it's in one of the bigger white districts, so that the black and brown people in Texas won't really have any representation in the Congress. So, and then they'll withdraw it to the white district that's Republican and get rid of the Democratic ones. That's what he called up and said. I need 5 seats. That's what they're doing. It's illegal. Okay? But by the time the Supreme Court or the courts hear it, it's going to be too late, and it's going to be already drawn. Okay? So that's what's happening. Okay? So Texas Republicans passed a new redistricting map backed by Trump, which aims to shift 5 congressional seats to Republicans. Missouri, also in a special session, which they called, a new map was passed that dismantles safe blue Democratic districts. So here's the thing. The Republicans know they got shitty policy. They know they got shitty policies. They know they don't have anything for the American people. So they're going to try to redraw the maps, try to steal the election, try to make everybody vote Republican. So there's no so they can win, they can continue to win races if they gerrymander the states. This is how they plan to win. They want the Voting Rights Act, the Section 2, to be off the books. Because if it's off the books, that means they can change the map to not include black and brown people. I don't know what you're talking about, group reparations. I don't know what you're talking about. So this is what they plan to do. They plan to redraw the map so all the black and brown people know that the stealing the election, that didn't happen in 2020. You're delusional, Pat. They're trying to steal the election by redistricting the map. That's why Donald Trump called up Texas and Missouri and said, hey, I need you to get rid of them 5 black districts that are Democrat and get me 5 districts that's Republican. So that when the midterms come around, we hoping that everybody done forgot what shitty policies we got. People done forgot what shitty, stop, Osmos, what did I tell you about doing the what aboutism? We are talking about Texas gerrymandering and the Voting Rights Act. We're not talking about Gavin Newsom. I swear to God, you right people cannot stay on topic. Y'all cannot stay on topic. We are not talking about Gavin Newsom or Crockett or nobody else. We're talking about this district map where they're going to change the district maps to cut out black and brown districts that have representation. So if they shoot down Section 2, okay, of the Voting Rights Act, that will give them carte blanche to change the districting maps, even though the maps should only be changed every 10 years after the census. Okay, after the census, that's the only time it's supposed to be redrawn, is after the census. The census happens every 10 years. That's every zeroth year. 2020, 2030, 2040, 2050. You got the idea. Every 2 years only. But they're redoing it now, okay, because they want to steal the election from the Democrats, or they want to make sure that they are in power in the House of Representatives by flooding the House of Representatives with Republicans. But it's against the law, Gary. That's the whole point. It's against the law. Okay, but every time it comes up to court, it's too late, and they've already changed the map. So it's not again. So this is a very important ruling that they're supposed to have tomorrow. The oral arguments are tomorrow for the Voting Rights Act, which is tomorrow. Okay. So the whole point is Donald Trump called up. He said, we want you to pass this new redistricting map. Accusations of diluting racial minority influence. Of course, every person that went against Donald Trump, they're eliminating their district in the House of Representatives. So this president doesn't want to have any opposition to what he's doing. I still haven't gotten in the chat anybody who has put in the chat what Donald Trump has done for them out of the big beautiful bill. I haven't seen that. No, the Democrats have not been doing it for decades, Pat. Go do your research. I'm not going to do your research for you. Stop spouting lies. Please stop doing that. So, critics argue that these map proposals aim to dilute the voting power of the black and brown and other minority communities. Okay, so if you break up the the coalition districts, we're going to get discriminated against when it comes to voting. Okay, redistributing voters into districts where their vote is less likely to decide the outcome. This is where they're going to put other people. They ensure more safe Republican districts where minority voters have less impact. So this is where that's going to be going. Okay. See, here's the thing. When your policies are shitty, and Republican policies are always shitty because it's not based on anything that people want. It's always based on the culture war. And when policies are always based on the culture war, you don't know how to govern. They don't know how to govern. It just is what it is. We want things to benefit the people. We're not talking about what you vote against. You have to have things that you're supposed to be voting for. When the Republicans know they have shitty policies, when they know they got shitty policies, and when they know they finna lose the election, then this is when they start cheating. This is when they start cheating, redrawing the map, telling bold-faced lies, X, Y, and Z. This is when they start doing that. I just want y'all. Right now is October. I just want y'all to take note. Take note of the shit that they're saying right now. Their policies have not benefited anyone. That big beautiful bill did not. That big beautiful bill did not benefit any regular, average, everyday, normal Republican. It did not benefit you, not one bit. Can't nobody tell me who it benefited. It only benefited the rich. So they know that they have shitty policies. I don't know why the Republican people don't know they got shitty policies, but they got shitty policies. Okay? And Trump knows he's got shitty policies. That's why they have to change the laws in order to benefit them, because they know they can tell the wave is coming where the independents move away from them. Okay? You don't have any money in your pocket, Gary. Stop lying. If you don't make over 150K, you ain't one of us. You ain't one of the regular people. I'm talking about the people from 30,000 to 150,000. Those are the people I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you. Because if you in that middle, if you in the middle of 130, 150, he didn't help you not one bit. Because we're in that group too, Gary, and you didn't help us. He didn't help us do nothing. So stop lying. So, well, wait till your medical insurance rises in the next month or two. You're gonna be crying like a baby then. So he knows, Donald Trump knows his policies are shitty. He knows that. So now they start lying. So I'm just telling you all to look at what's going on. They're trying to gerrymander the maps. They're trying to change all of these things because they know they're going to lose. They know that people are turning against them. Okay? Even though they're doing the same damn thing to us here. I'm here from Missouri, but I'm sure you don't want to hear from me. Whatever Republican state is doing is change. They trying to change the map. They trying to change the map because Donald Trump already called them up. Donald Trump called them up. He publicly and he privately told Republican leaders, Texas, Missouri, and Indiana, to redraw their congressional maps mid-cycle, not wanting to wait until 2030 like they were supposed to increase Republican representation. I told you, Osmos, you got to start reading. You can't be spouting nonsense in the damn chat. You can't spout nonsense in the chat. You don't have facts to back up the nonsense. That's the problem. Okay? That's the problem. Stop spouting nonsense. Have your facts. The whole point is They want a clean bill. But if they get a clean bill, that means your premiums go up triple and double. What part of that don't you understand? Yes, of course, they all gerrymander. They're only supposed to gerrymander every 10 years. Gary, how many times do I have to say that? They all do it, but they only can do it on those even years, those 10 years. Otherwise, it's illegal unless it's in their constitution. It's in their constitution of the state. Okay? But you're not listening. Donald Trump just called them up and told them to redistrict so that they can get more Republican votes for 2026. That's against the law. It's illegal. What alternative, Triple X? You don't vote for the person that harms. You don't vote for the person that harms other people and don't recognize other people's humanity. That's what you don't vote for. You don't vote for the person that doesn't recognize other people's humanity. What do you mean? What is the alternative? Anything besides that person is the alternative. What do you mean? So the whole point is, in 5 to 10 years, yes, I'll vote again. Okay. And that's why I told that. And that's why I said, you Republicans, you don't stand for anything. You don't stand for anything. You have nothing that you stand for. I don't ever see you all standing for anything. You never stand for anything. It's always hate black, brown, trans, or gay. It's or abortion. It's always, I hate the people who do trans, gay, abortions, black or brown. It's always something that you hate. It's never something that you want, that you're for. It's never something that y'all for. You never stand for nothing. Okay? Y'all hit the like button. No, you never stand for anything. Son of cool. You just flipped it to something else. You don't have nothing that you stand for. Ain't what children? The poor children that go to school without meals? You mean those kids? Okay, I'm for those kids. The ones that go to school without food, I'm for them kids. But I ain't for no kids that ain't here on the planet. I ain't here for no fictional kids. No, the Republicans, they don't stand for anything. You don't stand for anything. You hate against other things. You hate. You the party of hate. That's the problem. You don't recognize other people's humanity. You only go against black, brown, Hispanic, black, brown, immigrants, trans, and gays, and people who have abortion. You're against all of those things, but you never tell me what you're for. You never tell me what you're for. And that's why I say y'all don't stand for anything, because you never tell me what you're for. You're always telling me what you don't like. You're always telling me what you hate. Okay? Oh, no, I'm not making that up. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. No, I don't need to get no facts. I get it. Every time you guys talk, the first thing y'all say is, I'm for abortion. I'm for the people who don't have an abortion. Those are kids that ain't even here. I'm talking about stuff that's on the earth. I'm talking about stuff that's here. That's something that you're against. Okay? It's always about the hate. It's never about something that you want. It's never about something that you want. It's always about something that you hate. It's never about that. But that's okay. That's your group. It is what it is. We know that's what y'all are. We know you hate immigrants, you hate trans, you hate gays, you hate browns, you hate blacks, you hate people who have an abortion. I get all that. You're never for anything other than something to hate. I get it. Okay. No, but this is what Donald Trump did. So It is what it is. Okay. Our fate is decided. Our fate will be decided next week, or whenever this case is done being heard. I think they already got a decision for the case. I think they already done had a decision made, and so I don't think it. I'm hoping that it makes a difference. Okay, we hoping that it makes a difference, but don't nobody know. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. So we can only hope. With no lube behind the trash can. Shut up. What about Black Baby? Black Baby, son of cool. I care about babies on this planet, not ones that may be born, not ones that may be coming out. You don't stand for anything. If you only thing you stand against is somebody who might have an abortion, you don't stand for anything. And I don't believe you. I don't believe you. But that's why I'm not a Republican, because you don't stand for anything. You have hate. Everything you hate. You hate the trans. You hate the gays. You hate the brown. You hate the black. You hate people who have an abortion. You never stand for anything. There's nothing that you want to stand for. It's not like you say, I stand up. I stand up. No, you know what I stand up? I stand for. I don't like gay people. I mean, I don't deal with gay people. I don't deal with trans people either. I am for my veterans, poor kids, the elderly, the handicapped. So I am for those four things. I am for those four things. What things are you for? What are you for? Okay? What are y'all for? Because all I hear you say is, oh, the Democrats just wanted to deal with the gays and the trans. So you don't like browns, you don't like gays, you don't like trans, you don't like abortion. It's all the things that you hate. It's all the things that you don't want. I don't hear none of y'all say nothing about what you stand up for. Not one thing. I've not heard none of y'all say nothing about things that you stand up for. I just heard you hate X, Y, and Z. I hate gays. I hate trans. I hate abortion. I hate black. I hate brown. I hate the illegals. That's all we hear y'all say is we hate. That's all we hear over here is y'all hate. Y'all don't stand for nothing. I get it. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not gonna argue about what you stand for, because I know y'all don't stand for any, because I haven't heard one person in there say y'all stand for anything. Okay, then you stand for the rich. That's something. At least you stand for the rich. That's a good thing. Okay. Why do you care so much for reborn? I don't know. I mean, I worry about people having abortion too, but that ain't gonna make me turn away from helping poor kids on this earth, disabled veterans on this earth, handicapped on this earth, elderly. That's not gonna turn me away from the Democrats because they have abortions on that side. I don't have no abortions, so I don't give a fuck whether you do or not. But this party does X, Y, and Z. But it's okay. It's okay. It's the part we understand. Most of us think you're the party. Most of us think the Republican, you're the party of hate. We just think you are, because you don't stand for anything. Because there's no way that you could have stood for poor kids, the handicapped, our veterans, and voted for that big beautiful bill and been okay on that big beautiful bill. There's no way you could have stood for that and called yourself standing for anything if you voted, you wanted that big beautiful bill. There's no way. I'm happy for you, Juan. Why don't you go over there and start dealing with Nick Fuentes and deal with him? What you over here talking to me for? Oh, I don't know what echo chamber. I don't understand what you mean. I'm just saying you guys stand for nothing. That's all I'm saying. It's okay. I get it. So I have to turn ourselves to this. Let me show you this. Okay. This I found the other day. I don't know what's going on, but this is what's going on. I don't know what's going on. but it gave me a little bit of hope. It gave me a little bit of hope, just a little bit of hope. And I hope people look at it and, it gave me a little.
People like me don't usually come on here. I'm not the camera type. I'm toothless. Don't care about that. Don't care if any of you got anything to say about that. But I'm tired of keeping my mouth shut. Charlie Kirk's death sparked outrage with a lot of people that normally stay quiet. But I just don't give a fuck no more. Any of you Democrats, don't come near me. We don't want nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. And if you think that you can just do whatever you want, whenever you want, and then try to hide behind the Bible when we say we want to retaliate and say that we aren't living God's word. Well, neither are you. And we are living God's word. We are God's army. And God will get his revenge on you, not us. He will do it through us. But just know, you Democrats, you lunatic lefties, gonna get what's coming to you. You can't do people wrong in life like you guys always do and think you're gonna get away with it. Karma is a bitch.
Why do we think that Trump is talking about heaven again?
Who cares? Hey, I have a question for you. Why are you blocking people of color, black women specifically, for coming on this app and telling you that, hey, you're not ready to lead any movement or revolution? You cannot claim to be an authority on cults and manipulation just to turn around and platform a white man who was just a few weeks ago spewing hate towards every single person he could fucking think of and call that unity. And you certainly can't center his redemption story, but then block every black woman who tells you that he's not ready to leave, while also tokenizing the 1 or 2 black women who came on here and told you, hey, don't give up, this is important work that you're doing. When people who have lived through the harm of white supremacy say, hey, pump the brakes, hold up, this isn't safe, your first reaction is to block them? You're not safe. Honey Badger, you are not a safe person. And the fact that you are trying to prioritize your white feelings and restoring old America's white feelings over the safety of black people in this country tells me that you and this whole purple revolution was always just a rebrand of the same old, tired, racist
Purple Revolution. I have some more thoughts on it. So it came out that the architect of the Purple Revolution is a 3%er. He was wearing a 3%er shirt. For those who don't know what are 3%ers, they're a white supremacist hate group. And the person that wanted to unite the left and right was wearing a white supremacist shirt while he was trying to call for unity. Now, I am a big Star Trek fan. One of my favorite series is Voyager. There was an episode on Star Trek Voyager that really embodies what this Purple Revolution was for me. Now, Captain Janeway was trying to get her crew home from the Delta Quadrant to the Alpha Quadrant, but they had to go through an alien racist space called the Borg. The Borg alien race is a perfect example of colonization. What they would do would enter other alien space, kidnap and assimilate people, and take over their planets. Whether you wanted to join the Borg or not, you had no choice. They came, they assimilated, they took, and they continued on. So for the crew of Voyager to get home, they would have to go through Borg space, which would have been very dangerous for them. But they had found a passageway where they thought that they can go around the Borg and not have to deal with them at all and continue their way home. When they got to that passageway, they found another alien race called Species 8472. Species 8472 was worse than the Borg. And the Borg and Species 8472 were at war. Now, mind you, the Borg is a very powerful race, but Species 8472 was more powerful and more dangerous, not only to the Borg, but to every other species in the universe. So Captain Janeway came up with an idea. She wanted to build an alliance with the Borg, since the Borg was losing the war with Species 8472. So she went to a Borg cube and she talked to them and said, hey, we know how to destroy Species 8472, but we want safe passage through your space. We will give you the technology to destroy your enemy, but give us safe passage through your space. No assimilation.
I'm not going through that whole thing. I don't like that. I don't like that Borg thing. The Borg thing is weird.
That's exactly how I felt when I saw that man's video. The minute they would have reached their goal, they would betray everyone on the left and continue the hateful nonsense that the 3%ers do. When it's in their nature to betray, you do not trust them. Now, after 7 of 9 was disconnected from the Borg, it took her years to regain her humanity. Captain Janeway didn't just let her lead the minute she was disconnected. That goes for those who left the cult of Trump. They're going to have to work and deconstruct a lot before they can even be considered leaders. Just because the orange buffoon policies are now affecting them and they regret their vote doesn't mean they can lead us into any revolution, especially when it's in their nature to betray. The ones that don't betray are the ones that sit there and do the work, deconstruct, listen to black and brown voices, listen to the LGBTQIA plus communities, take the time, do the work, and that takes years. Great that they're waking up, but they don't get to lead us into anything. Again, like I say in my videos, they get to sit way in the back at the kids' table. They don't get to break bread with us. And we are definitely not going to stand behind them. They have to do the work. Point blank and period. I thought that episode on Voyager was a great example of why a lot of black people were like, no, because it is in their nature to be hateful and evil and cruel. You have to unlearn those behaviors. And they haven't unlearned any of that.
That's the whole point of the Purple Revolution, which has been started over there, I guess, on TikTok, right? It's a revolution over there on TikTok. It's called the Purple Revolution, where we mix blue and purple, okay? And a lot of people are over there joining that movement. But it was started by that initial guy, that first guy said, you lefties. Because after Charlie Kirk was killed, he didn't believe that Charlie Kirk was killed by Tyler Robinson. He didn't believe a lot of things. So he came on here and he's been upset ever since. And he started this Purple Revolution. Okay? Here he is again after this.
Let's start a new trend. No Republican, no Democrat, no Independent. No more parties. Let's unite.
When are we going to learn that demanding a response from Knitting Cult Lady like she owes you one is not the thing? I do not owe you a response about the Purple Revolution. No, I don't even know this discussion about me is going on because I do not look at the mentions for my own mental health. Maybe think about that in this parasocial relationship as well. It's very easy to know how I feel about things if you spend time here and listen.
I didn't want to show her picture, but...
Okay, on to another video. So I understand people...
This is the guy who is a Republican. And he wants to start the Purple Revolution where we, as the poor people, overthrow the government, the rich people. We try to overthrow the rich people. This guy, he's a Republican. So, listen.
Are in dire need of this to move forward. I understand that there's a lot happening in this country right now. What people have to understand is we have one shot at this. One shot. And we all have to understand that we are going after the most rich, powerful, and elite people in this world. This is no matter to take lightly and go in guns a-blazing. If we move too quick and we fail, the consequences are going to be catastrophic. Catastrophic. These are the biggest, most powerful people in the world that we are.
The problem with this man and the movement is okay. He says he says he wants a movement where it's Republicans and Democrats, and we move against the powerful. I said that a couple weeks ago. We do what we can to put those people out of office. And we do what we can to get other people in the office that represents us. Okay? That's what he's saying. But the problem is, he doesn't recognize that all of us have humanity, just like the rest of you, just like a lot of you in the comment section right now. Don't seem to recognize the humanity of people. We don't have a discussion to make if you don't recognize that LGBT people need to have rights. We don't have a revolution if you in the comment section don't understand that gay people deserve rights. It's a non-starter for me if you don't understand that poor people have rights. Okay? It's a non-starter.
Attempting to take down. If people think that this is just going to be something where these people are going to roll over and just say, okay, everybody's mad at us, we're just going to lay down and give them what they want, I don't think you're in the right place. Because this is going to get very messy. This is going to get very dicey. These people have all the technology, all the money, and all the power at their fingertips that they need. If we make the wrong move at the wrong time, without being as calculated and well thought out and as well put together as this needs to be, this is going to turn into a bloodbath. I don't want people to be afraid to take up arms, because I want people to understand something very clearly, that if this does not happen peacefully and they're not willing to come to the table with us and change things peacefully, we are going to have to take up arms, or our life will never change. So I need people to understand the gravity of this movement, of this revolution, that this could turn into the Second American Revolutionary War. And if so, I hope everybody is ready to take up arms, because I'm 100% ready to take up arms if need be. I'm 100% ready to lay my life on the line for our people, for our kids' futures, and for our grandchildren's futures. Because if we are not ready to lay our life on the line, we are going to fail. It is a very slim likelihood that this is going to happen peacefully. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for weak-minded people. This is not for people who are not ready to see and do things that you normally wouldn't see and do in order for us to get our power back. So for the people that are out there and pushing for us to make moves because of ICE doing what they're doing, because the military being turned against us and used as a agree with me or face the consequences tactic. We are ready to take up arms. I hope you understand that. So I don't want you to be afraid. But we can't just come out guns a-blazing yet. We don't have the numbers for this yet. There is going to have to be some terrible things that are going to have to happen that we can't answer to yet. But I want you guys to understand something. We will answer every single thing that they do. Everything they do will be answered, and then some. So they're going to have their way for a little bit. We have to understand this is only 2 weeks in. We have nowhere near the numbers yet. The recruitment still has to happen. The temperatures still have to be brought down, and we still have to make sure we are on the same page. We have to make sure that we trust each other. If we go into this not trusting each other, we are going to fail.
But the problem I have with Bubba, and y'all call him Bubba, I don't know his name, but he been calling for us to join forces, us blue with the red. He's been charged. calling for us to do that. And that's okay. But I have not seen this man understand that we are here or admit that we are here because of him or anybody else who voted for Donald Trump. This is where you brought us to. This is where we at because of you. Not because of nobody else. This is because of you. So I haven't heard anybody say anything about, well, unity. Okay, fine and dandy. We can try to do a revolution, but you got to understand. He wants to do what he has to do in order to convince us that he wants us to come over there, or he wants to come over here with us. It's not a matter of us going over there to the Republican side. Y'all did this. Y'all brought us here. We automatically been having revolution from day one. That's the whole point. He just joining the group.
From their decisions. So please, patience. The movement is happening. The wheels are turning. Just give us a chance to get this organized so we can do this the right way. God bless and much love.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Now that Trump's fucked up policies, Project 2025, the big, beautiful bill, are affecting you, by you, I mean conservative white Americans who voted for Trump multiple times, now you want to be upset? Now you want to call for unity? Now you want to extend an olive branch? Now that white people are losing their farms that have been in their families for generations, now you're calling for unity. Now that white people are losing their houses, their health care, their 401ks, now you want to call for unity. Now that white people are having to close their businesses because their workers are being deported, and in some cases, their spouses being deported, now you want to call for unity. Now that white people are getting kicked off of their public assistance, now you want to call for unity. Now that some of your daughters, mothers, nieces, granddaughters have lost their jobs due to DEI, now you want to call for unity and a purple revolution? So we're just going to ignore the fact that you were completely on board with all of Trump's racist bullshit when you thought it was only going to affect black people and people of color. Then yeah, you were all for it. But the moment those chickens came home to roost, now all of a sudden it's a problem and you need help. You need to get some allies. Now you want to come together and sit down at the table and just be a unified front and move forward in peace and working together. And we can get our country back together. Well, seeing as how your vote has this country exactly where it is now, on behalf of black people, people of color, and everyone else with normal brain function who heard everything that Trump and all his sycophants said while he was running and all the shit that he was going to do that he did, fuck you. What are you surprised about now? He told you exactly what he was going to do. You just thought it wasn't going to affect you. So you can take your olive branch, you can take your hand that's extended in unity, and let's all sit down and kumbaya, and you can shove it up your fucking ass. The only purple revolution I care about is Prince. So if we're not talking about the Sign of the Times album, if we're not talking about the Purple Rain album, I don't care. You made your bed. Now go sleep in that motherfucker.
I'll be really abundantly clear in this moment. If you did not care about how marginalized folks, how poor folks, how disabled folks, how folks who are too often left out of the conversation or pushed out of the conversation, if you didn't care about them during the election, don't try to form community with them now. Simply don't. Yes, you got to see that a lot of those folks who are trying to get people to vote for their best interests, to vote for harm reduction, because none of these elected officials would be like the savior, and we shouldn't ask them to be either. But A lot of folks were voting for harm reduction. Y'all ignored them. Y'all essentially spat in their faces. And now we have what? Months and months of evidence to show how right those folks were. And so seeing y'all try to form revolutions and connections and all that stuff like that, you can save it, okay? Don't try to form any coalitions with people who you ignored blatantly months before, okay? Until you're actually doing something right, like, I don't know, you get out there and protest. You get out there and raise money. You get out there and contribute to mutual aids. You get out there and make some differences. But before you expect folks to come alongside and join you, the same people that you spat in their faces in November, do some work first. Okay, thanks.
So I'll be really honest with you, the last day has been like being shell-shocked. And it's made me just want to hide under my bed, had heart pains. I just didn't expect the misconstrued stuff, the lies, the misinformation, people not even asking me and just making stuff up and, you know, whatever. But I just thought, okay, maybe I just need to step away from this, or Brian needs to step away from this. Someone else can do it. Maybe that'd be best. And then I got messages, and I've gotten...
Now, here's the thing. These people want us to start a revolution called the Purple Revolution. The problem is the person who's asking for it is a MAGA Republican person. The problem we have is that why didn't you call for this revolution before Trump got elected? It only starts to affect you, and now you want us to come over there and help you. It's called the Purple Revolution. There's nothing wrong with a revolution, but we don't trust that you won't change your mind somewhere down the line and then screw us over again. The only way we're going to get out of this bullshit is if we vote the Republicans out. Oh, I'm eating some fruit and raisins. The only way we're going to get out of this is if we vote the people out of the House and the Senate in 2026. That's the only way. And the whole point is they want us to come out. They want us to join the group. Nobody's joining the group unless you understand that every person on this planet has rights. Every person on this planet has rights. And there's no way for us to come over there if you don't recognize that every person has rights. That includes the gay people, that includes the trans people, that includes all of those people.
So I hope you will continue in this conversation, even though it's hard, even though it's painful. And then you'll listen to people like this beautiful woman teach her aspects on things.
I think it's time that we talk about what I'm dubbing the authoritarian left. And the reason I feel like it's important for us to finally talk about this group of people is that it will help us understand the rise of far-right ideology. I think a lot of people keep zooming in and trying to understand what it is about this rise of far-right extremism, not just in the United States, but around the world. But I think it's important that we zoom out and we see the full picture. And that full picture, in my opinion, includes what I'm dubbing the authoritarian left. And in fact, if you step outside of internet spaces for 2 seconds, you'll realize that most people fall under a category called the middle ground majority. But the second you enter internet spaces, it seems like you're either far right or authoritarian left. I'll first start with a psychological definition of the authoritarian left because I feel like that is the best way to explain the underpinnings and the motivations of this group, because I think it's important to separate the motivations of the authoritarian left and the general left. Like, I'm a liberal, I'm a leftist, but I don't identify as an authoritarian left. The first part is identity substitution. When people lack tangible power or political wins, moral superiority becomes a substitute for identity. So it's not about necessarily being a part of a group that wants to change things for the better. It's about power and control. The second is the fear of exclusion. People mimic outrage because belonging, especially online, is precarious. You either join the pylon or risk becoming the next target.
Right.
Once again, it's about control. The third is cognitive closure. When certainty feels safer than nuance, the far left policing subculture offers clear heroes and villains, which relieves moral anxiety. Once again, about power and control. And I think this quote best exemplifies everything.
I don't like the way she talk.
Criticizing the fact that it's not perfect, the authoritarian, left just eats you up and cancels you out of existence. We're lacking nuance in a world that is life is nuance. Life is the gray area between black and white, but we keep acting like life is either black and white, and online spaces makes you feel that way.
Bunch of fucking there's all a bunch of you people on there saying that I tried saying the N-word. Pussies, I will never fight for you. I don't give a fuck about fighting for people's human right.
Well, it seems like someone is not having a good day. And now he's saying that he wants to fight for the middle. Let's all be in the middle. That's exactly where you need to be. Hey, just for comedy, it looks like even your flannel has decided to go from purple back to red. You guys want a movement that you can stand on? You want a movement with some fucking principle? Then just fucking vote blue. It's easy. You don't have to do anything. No new t-shirts, no new bumper stickers, no new hashtags. Just fucking vote blue.
My oh my, how fast the tide's turned against me, huh? So, from what I'm getting from the comments is ain't nobody ready for unity in this country. Because everybody was all okay with who I was. Everybody was okay with getting behind me.
Yes, the point is, sir, we were okay with getting behind you, except the minute you got upset, you reverted back to kind. You reverted back to calling people names. You reverted back to doing the MAGA shit. You reverted to going back. No, people don't deserve human rights. They don't deserve rights. They don't deserve. Yes, they do. And that's the whole point. That's the damn line. That's the bottom line. For me, that's the bottom line. I'm not going to argue with nobody about their humanity. Ain't going to do it. If you want me to help you in any way with any kind of movement, you have to acknowledge that gays, immigrants, trans, all of those people are human and they deserve human rights too. Otherwise, you can fuck off.
For unity. Until everybody forced policy down my throat. Okay? So because my policies align differently than yours.
No, this is not a matter of policy, sir. This is a matter of morality. It's a matter of morality. Every time I talk to somebody that's Republican, it's always about we're better than the Democrats. You all voted for who you voted for. You voted for that person that got us into this boat. You voted for that person that got us into the boat. We didn't vote for this person. We didn't vote for none of this. We didn't want none of this. We didn't want to fight. We didn't want a government shutdown. We didn't want none of this stuff. You all voted for this. So you want us to come and do something to help you, then you need to come to the table with a little bit less humble attitude. Okay? With a more humble attitude.
It's not looking good for this revolution now, is it?
No, not
That's 100% against this unity. 100% against this unity. So what you guys are telling me is you only had my back if I completely aligned with your beliefs 100.
No, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is you have not agreed that every person has the right to exist here on this planet, in this country. Every person has the right to exist. You have not acknowledged that trans people have the right to exist. Gay people have the right to exist. As long as you don't believe that, us Democrats are not coming the fuck over there with you. We're not doing nothing to help you Republicans. You white boys, get yourself out of this fucking trouble. Get yourself out of it then. We'll stand on the fucking sidelines. We ain't fucking with you if you don't understand them facts right there.
100%. That's not unity. That's the same cult-like activity that you guys claim that the right has, where you align with me 100% or you're not accepted. Tell me I'm wrong.
I already just told you what
You're
we're
going to come here with a list of demands from me. When I started this,
there's no middle ground. You either accept every person on this planet has the right to exist, or we can never have a revolution together. It just is what it is.
You came here. I started this, and Badger started this. You guys came here.
We came over there to see what you were talking about, and then we found out you were talking 2-point crazy with a goddamn Confederate shirt on, still talking that foo-foo la-la, still talking that bullshit about gays and trans. No, we just came to see what the fuck you talking about. Now we got what you talking about.
Saying how it was all great. It was great. Didn't say nothing about policy. Not one person. Still followed me, even though I said nothing about policy. And look at the gathering that came. Just shows you how much policy divides people. And that's sad because 90% of policy is personal life driven. And that's sad to me. But that video was a test to see how strong the unity really was.
Right, we can't do it. Mikhail, then sit your ass over there. Sit your ass over there and be broke then. Sit your ass over there and be broke. We didn't say anything about us wanting to be trans. What we said was, if we join with you Republicans to help overthrow these rich motherfuckers, you bitch ass motherfuckers are gonna stab us in the back the minute the chance y'all get. That's what we say. This man is talking about joining his group and he got a Ku Klux Klan shirt on. What the fuck? You got on a Ku Klux Klan shirt and you want us to help join your group. Make the shit make sense. Make the shit make sense.
Okay? And the unity ain't very strong because the messages and comments I'm getting ain't very good. So all you're telling me is my views don't matter. My beliefs don't matter.
What beliefs? You Republicans don't believe in shit. Y'all don't vote for shit. You just vote against stuff. You don't vote for shit. Not one person put in the comment section what they vote for. I'm talking about on a human level that don't involve you. That don't involve you. What do you vote for? Not one goddamn Republican tell me what the fuck they vote for that don't involve them. Not one. Y'all Republicans don't stand for shit. He's a Republican who wants us to come over there and join his team. No. You motherfuckers got us into this mess. Okay? You Republicans, MAGA people got us into this bullshit. You ain't finna get you want help? Get other Republicans on board with you. Get them motherfuckers on board with you and maybe we'll help. But we ain't getting on board with y'all. And it's just one of y'all and he's still talking 2-point crazy. He got on a KKK shirt talking to us about him wanting unity. Make the shit make sense.
I even got told that in conversation this morning, that my views don't matter. My beliefs don't matter.
Rexa, if you believe that, then you're more delusional than I thought. You gotta be MAGA in order to say that.
Because I'm white. And I'm Christian. Okay. Like I said, I don't force anybody to be here. I don't force anybody to be here. And I'm not going to keep trying.
It's a part of the 3% jackass Alpha 2A. That shirt is a part of the 3%. And the 3% belong to the KKK. White supremacists, jackass. Look it up. Shut the fuck up if you don't know what you're talking about.
Trying to force people to be here. You guys are the ones that forced me to talk about policy.
Bruce, y'all don't stand for nothing. Y'all don't stand for nothing, Bruce. Is loose. That's all you stand for is hate. Everything you talk about, every time you open your mouth, it's against something. It's against something. It's never for anything. It's never for anything. You never stand for anything. That's the problem we Democrats have with you Republicans. You never stand for anything.
I don't think my views are bad at all, to be honest with you. I think they're right down the middle. Okay? I've never cared what race you are. I've never cared if you're gay or straight. So why any of that is being held against me? No idea. But hey, it is what it is. Okay? But I'm not going to continue.
No, that was a dream. That was a dream on y'all side. I knew it was a ceasefire. It wasn't no peace. I made that very clear yesterday.
To stick my neck out on the line and put myself in danger and put my family in danger for people who do not accept my beliefs, but only will unite with me and align with me if I 100% align with their beliefs.
No, we're not saying that. What we're saying is, we're not saying that. What we're saying is you have to acknowledge that every person has humanity on this planet. That includes trans, that includes gays, that includes black, that includes whites. That's what we are telling you you have to do. You haven't said anything regarding that. This is the first time I've heard you say something about gays. Okay? And why should we come over to you when you are the one who put us in this predicament? You put us in this predicament. The proof is in the pudding. November 2026, proof is in the pudding. If you really mean what you say, and you really want us to overthrow and get rid of all these people in Congress, you want us to get rid of them, you want us to overthrow, okay, get the people on your side to get all these people out of here. You get the people on your side, and I help get the people on my side so we can organize, so we can get rid of the people that's in government right now, so we can change some of these laws. You get the people on your MAGA side. That's what you do. Don't ask me to come over there to you because we don't trust you. Because the minute you fucking get the shit y'all want, get everything you want, you're going to stab me in the back. Democrats have always wanted to help. Democrats have always been willing to reach over to the other side. You guys have never wanted to compromise. Get your people together on your side, and I get my people on my side.
I'm 100% down the middle in the unity. I don't care what people do in their personal life. I don't give a rat's ass. Okay? I have my beliefs. As long as you don't step on my beliefs, I don't care what your beliefs are, and I'm not going to step on your beliefs.
Yeah, of course, Julian. That's what they want to do. That's what I told you. You Republicans don't stand for anything. The only thing you stand for is to hurt other people. That's what y'all are good at. That's all y'all do. Y'all don't do anything other than hurt other people. You're in the chat talking about revisiting gay marriage. You're in the chat talking about hurting other people. You're in the chat talking about hurting interracial couples. You're Julian Fry. You're in the chat talking about hurting other people. You don't stand for anything. That's why we Democrats don't trust you all, because y'all don't stand for nothing. Y'all just hate. It's always about hate. I hate gays. I hate black and white. I hate brown people. I hate immigrants. I hate trans. I hate gay. You hate. You don't stand for nothing. You guys never stand for anything. Nothing. You in the chat, you jump in the chat talking about, let's revisit gay marriage. Let's hurt the gay people. Let's hurt the black and white people. Let's hurt the interracial couple. You don't stand for anything. You don't stand in for anything. You have no integrity. You have no morals. You have no value. And you probably call yourself a Christian. Y'all don't stand for nothing. Nothing. Never.
Beliefs. It's that simple. But if my beliefs ain't good enough, and I'm not accepted because of my beliefs.
We didn't say that. You don't want to accept our beliefs. We will accept any human being. We accept trans, we accept gays, we accept any human beings. You on the right are the ones that don't want to accept us over here on the left.
Then I'm not good enough to put my neck on the line and put my life on the line for people who don't have
I'm
my
sorry,
back.
Julian, if I went off on you. I was pissed
So let's
off.
have this discussion, Purple Revolution, because today is showing a lot. God bless and much love.
I don't want a purple revolution. I want a deeper blue. I want universal health care. I want universal child care. I want free lunch for children. I want reparations. I want an end to prison wages. I want an end to over-policing. I want access to free education for higher ed.
Wait a minute. You see what he's saying? Do y'all hear what he's saying? Okay. I want you to listen. Okay. I want you to listen. This is what us Democrats want. I told you, you Republicans don't stand for nothing. You don't want nothing. You don't stand for nothing. I'm finna play this part again, and this guy is going to tell you the things that us Democrats want, what we want.
My life on the line for people who don't have my back. So let's have this discussion, Purple Revolution, because today is showing a lot. God bless and much love.
I don't want a purple revolution. I want...
This is what Democrats want.
I want a deeper blue. I want universal health care. I want universal child care. I want free lunch for children. I want reparations. I want an end to prison wages. I want an end to over-policing. I want access to free education for higher ed. I want quality public schools. I want public transportation. I want investment in alternative energy. I want protections for all marginalized people. I want to bring manufacturing and farming back to the people. I want to break up monopolies. I don't think that news should be privatized. I want lower carbon emissions. I want the birth rate to go up. I want maternity leave. I want paternity leave. I want a 30-hour work week and a livable minimum wage. Like, what do you get? What do you get from a purple revolution? Like, I'm really trying to figure that out. Like, does that mean, like, people still get to be kind of racist? People get to be kind of still homophobic? Or you can go home to dinner, but you just won't talk about anything. You cannot court the vote of poor white people by being like, we're not going to give you anything to help you stop being poor. We're just going to continue to try and get the people that we've told you to be scared of. We're going to continue to try and disenfranchise them enough that they become your working class, so that you can be a little bit more comfortable. But most of the money that we make from those people that we're going to destroy are actually going to go into our pockets and not yours. And you are actually going to also be the people that are going to be working for us with those slave wages. And with globalization, like, I want no one to be held at the mercy of these giant, massive global corporations. Like, I don't understand the meaning of what is being asked.
I'm just going to tell you right now, some of you are going to have to watch this video a second time. Let's talk about the Purple Revolution and my issues with it, because ultimately it is a cause without a goal. Ultimately, it comes from a valid, correct understanding that there is, across the political spectrum in this country, amongst voters, unhappiness with what our government is doing. And that includes from some of the people that voted in favor of it. And so it is a calling together of all of those disparate groups to work and ideally end whatever it is that is happening. The problem is the people that have started it and are running it have not done any amount of material analysis or look over the past 50 years of history to figure out what events led to this moment being able to.
It started in the last week. This is the Purple Revolution. It started in the last week. It was started by a Republican guy. The Republican guy said we need to come together as the poor people and we need to get rid of these rich people. And the people that are in power right now, we need to get rid of them now. We need to get rid of all the Republicans that are in charge. We need to get rid of Donald Trump, and we need to have a poor man. We need to figure out how we can find a candidate that can run for the poor people, that can actually run, that will be willing to run for the poor people and represent middle class instead of representing the rich. And we give him money, small donor money, and we support his campaign up into the White House. This is what he's saying, okay? This is what it is. This is what we're trying to figure out how we can do something like that
happen. And so people to the left of the creators of this group are looking at it and pointing out that, one, they don't get to decide what the future should be looking like because they were responsible for causing the issues of the present. And two, recognizing that, again, the leaders and supporters of the movement.
Yeah, but that's the problem, Rexa. That's the problem. He can't be the leader of the group because you all don't believe that the things you don't believe, y'all don't stand for anything. There's nothing that you stand for as a Republican. We stand for helping the poor, helping the elderly, helping the handicapped, helping the disabled. Y'all don't stand for any of those things. So why would we want to help you all instead? You all don't stand for anything. You all stand for hate. You hate the gays, you hate the trans, you hate the immigrants, you hate abortion, you hate. You don't stand for anything. Everybody over here, the man just ran down what us Democrats want. Y'all hate everything. You don't stand for anything. So when that guy comes over and says he want us to help him, no, help you do what? You the one got us in this trouble. You can't get us out of this trouble. You got us into this trouble. You need to come over here with your hat in hand saying, I'm willing to help you Democrats get back in even keel. Who cares about the damn Democrats and the KKK, Danny? Who cares?
Are not doing any real analysis. They don't have any specific calls to action of how to change these problems and these systems that led us here. And realistically, at the end of the day, all of this is a bunch of white people getting together trying to soothe their own feelings as to pretending they're doing something, and they're ignoring the fact that marginalized communities have been dealing with what now is affecting white people for pretty much our entire history. So the only logical conclusion that we're left with isn't that you have a problem with the systems or what these systems are doing to people that much. You just don't like the vulgarity and obviousness of it.
I'm looking at a candidate called what's his name? He's in Texas. What the hell is his name? I'm looking at this guy in Texas. He got a short, weird name. Let me look him up.
That said, it's good that you guys are starting to wake up to what is happening. It is good that you were willing to leave your house to go demonstrate that unhappiness. That's good, but you're skipping some steps, and you're also not listening to people who have been paying attention this whole time and also have been organizing and being activists to try to change these things. And at the end of the day, people like me who are tapped in and paying attention to these things don't even know what you are trying to get the world to look like if you are somehow successful, because you yourself don't even know. Now, if you are a liberal and you have made it this far in this video and you've agreed with what I've had to say about the Purple Revolution, now
okay.
You have to watch the.
He's from Texas. His name is Beto O'Rourke. Beto O'Rourke. That's his name. That's who I want to run, because I think he'll win. Beto O'Rourke.
Indivisible, because they're just a bunch of
No,
establishment
no, he won't, hon. People. Unfortunately, America. Unfortunately, we done got tired of Republicans. At least the independents have gotten tired of him. They can't stand Vance. Ain't no way.
That have led us to the moment that allowed Trump to win and do all of this. Go back and rewatch the video and then do some
5
thinking.
days, less than a week, Mr. Purple Revolution has already faltered. The guy who started this is an account that's called like Restoring Old America or something like that. And his first video is all like, I feel terrible about voting for Trump. I guess I was in a cult or something like that.
No, he did. He ran for against Ted Cruz, the senator.
That we need to come together. We need to get together as a nation, and I want unity, y'all. We went from that to, yeah, I still want unity, but I'm not going to bend over and kiss your feet. And now he's upset with people on the left for not wanting to give credit to the Angry Orange for the ceasefire. You know, the ceasefire that.
No, he don't want no. Stop spreading that lie, Stereo. Stop spreading that lie. Beto O'Rourke will. I don't know. Whoever live in Texas, you need to be looking him up. Beto O'Rourke. He will. I got a feeling that he will fight for everybody. That includes everybody. He just seems like the candidate. Did he run for candidate? No, he ran for Ted Cruz job. Didn't he? Ted Cruz job.
We've been through like 3 or 4 times now. The thing about a ceasefire is it's really easy when you've already leveled everything on the other side. And I have a feeling that the only reason why we had a ceasefire at all is because Bibi was trying to help Trump get a Nobel Peace Prize. And now that that's over, that's out the window. Trust me, that ceasefire is probably going to end faster than the Purple Revolution. And the guy is mad for the exact same reason that I said that they were going to be mad. He says, because y'all don't want to meet me in the middle, which means y'all need to come over my direction. Not once did he offer up what the right was going to sacrifice to meet us in the middle. And even the name he goes by, Restoring Old America, is kind of a problem because we don't want old America back. We want a better America. Then he goes on for a while saying, you know what? He's still your president. You're just going to have to accept that. Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. He ran in 2020. Yeah. For about 6 months. Okay. But I think I think we could be ready for him. I think we could work with him.
Just because we have a president does not mean that we owe that president anything. A president is an elected official who is supposed to be working for us, not the other way around.
I'm just saying we need a what do you mean voting for a gay person? He not gay. Black America? What are you talking about? I'm saying we need somebody we need somebody other than these people that's in there now. We need somebody that's different. We can't deal with the people we got now. We need to upend the apple cart. That's what we need to do. We need to throw these motherfuckers out. That's all I'm saying.
I wasn't a fan of Joe Biden, but at least he understood this. Apparently this guy lives in upstate New York, and he made a video about how much he hates Mondani. He made the video addressing him directly, saying, you don't speak for all New Yorkers. If you come upstate, you'll find out how much everybody hates you. Now, that sounds like unity, doesn't it? It's almost like the people on the left that he wants to try to come together with are the ones that kind of look like him, but not so much the brown ones with funny names. Anyway, the only reason why
Ryan, this is why we're in. See, and you gotta be MAGA. You gotta be. You need to primary the Republicans, not the Democrats. The motherfuckers that are in power right now need to get the fuck out of power right now. The way they moving, they trying to destroy the Democrats. And mark them radical. Yes, I see that, Ty. I see that. And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about we need to get rid of it. Even if they was Democrats trying to get rid of the Republicans in the same way, we'd be trying to get rid of the Republicans because they're the same animal. We need to get rid of all of them. That's what I'm saying. We need to get rid of all of them. Okay? Not the Republicans specifically, because they letting this president run amok. We can't afford. We are going into a recession. We need to stop this bullshit that they doing right now. Okay? We need to stop the bullshit now. Okay? Upstate New York is hating that 25% electric tariff. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Yeah, Ryan, dumb as hell. How the hell you in here talking about voting Democrat, pro-Israel Democrat? What you going to vote for? Pro-Israel Republicans? Dumb. Just dumb.
Made this video is just to basically just kind of to congratulate myself because
Just
I
dumb,
called this
Ryan.
days
Just
ago.
dumb.
Now, I'm sure there are a lot of people on the right who do want unity, as long as we're willing to go to their side to get it. They want us to be moderate Republican America again. You know, like Reagan Republican. But Reagan was the downhill downfall of this country. That's why we have Trump today. So to my peeps on the right, yeah, sure, we would love to have.
Now, tell me exactly why we need to primary the Democrats instead of the Republicans, Ryan. Please explain to me why we would need to do that. No, we need to hear how you so smart that the people that are in power should stay in power. Please explain to us. We getting shit on by the people that's in power, and we should just let them stay in power? Just dumb. Them people got to go. Those people need to be primaried. Just dumb.
Some unity with you, but you're going to have to move pretty far to the left for us to get it, because we've been moving to the right for about 40 years now, and we're in a shithole now. Why don't you give our side a try for like 10 or 20 years and see how much you like it? But we all know you're not going to do that because your hatred for other people is way more important to you than a good life for everybody in this country. And until y'all are able to confront those demons, unity is never going to be on the table.
Y'all not talking about some goddamn purple revolution. Is you out your goddamn cotton picking mind? Since day one on this campaign trail, he's been a racist, misogynistic asshole. Since day fucking one, the first month he was rolling back segregation laws from the 1960s, segregated facilities. What are y'all talking about? DEI programs, affirmative action. I'm talking about the government got gutted from Doge, and hundreds of thousands of black people lost their jobs. Y'all the same ones that agree that black women don't have the IQ or intelligence to get these jobs. I'm talking about people that in DC, where I am, people that I know that have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, law degrees, passed the bar exam, doctorate degrees, losing their jobs left and right because y'all think that they not qualified after y'all just been getting in these positions, being underqualified your whole fucking life. You feel intimidated. But now y'all want a purple revolution? Are you kidding me? You're talking about the same people who didn't want due process for people like Abrego Garcia, people that's just snatching people up off the street. Y'all just now talking about some purple revolution because he talking about some damn taking back the First Amendment? What do you mean? He been taking away our rights. Been taking away our rights. Been taking away women's rights. Been taking away women's right to choose. Took away the rights for the states. Taking away EBT. Taking away Medicaid, Medicare. He talked about this on his campaign trail. This ain't new. This wasn't about the price of eggs, and y'all fucking knew it. Y'all sat there and watched as he sent them people to CCOT, a camp in El Salvador that's not even on American soil, as prisoners that would never get out. It's people showing up missing. 1,200 immigrants are missing. And y'all don't care because they're brown. Y'all never cared. On the campaign trail, he wasn't just talking about Hispanic people. He was talking about black people, Haitians. He said they were eating cats and dogs. Y'all didn't care. All y'all cared was about some people a man putting on a dress. I don't give a fuck about that. If you care that much about it, it's because you need to look deeper inside. When have you ever been in a room with a man with a dress on? You haven't. Unless, stop worrying about shit that don't affect you. If you pro-life, then you and your goddamn wife need to be pro-life. What the fuck do that got to do with a nigga in a different state? Y'all don't care about none of these things that he's talking about. Y'all knew he wasn't a Christian. Y'all knew that he didn't respect women. He had 34 felonies. Y'all don't care about no goddamn law and order. The police out there fighting for their life against ICE. The troops that they sending out there don't even want to do the things that ICE trying to get them to do. They got FBI getting off of their cases because they don't want people investigating cases with the FBI, what they really supposed to be doing, finding them kids, them people that's touching kids, because their whole administration is full of kid touchers. Y'all got the lady from the WWE in the administration. Y'all got Lawrence Taylor in the administration. RFK Jr. in the administration. Y'all got the dumbest, most unqualified people in the administration. Y'all got them doing speeches with the military, telling them that if they want to rough people up on the streets, there won't be no consequences. They telling people that when they're doing this training, then women need to be doing the same thing as men, and if they can't, then they need to get kicked out the military. And not only that, they saying that all of these cases where women that investigating things is happening to them in the military, they need to be a little bit more lenient on that. Ted Cruz just went up there and said we need to stop attacking people that touch kids. Y'all don't care. Talking about some purple revolution. They got Black Hawks over apartment buildings coming in like the SWAT. Zip tying kids up. What do you mean? A girl got hit 5 times by ICE. Yeah, popped 5 times by ICE. A priest got popped in his face for peaceful protesting. Y'all don't care. Why the fuck would we ever join y'all for a revolution? I want y'all to, once this is over, I want y'all to go back in your red states and go in a fucking hole and live together and live in harmony with each other. I don't ever want to see y'all ever again, a day in my life. I want the progressives to all move to progressive states, DC, Maryland, Virginia, California, wherever the hell you gotta move, and leave them motherfuckers.
I know you ain't sitting there talking about fake videos, Rexa. You wild as hell. He ain't told, that man right there ain't told not one lie. You talking about fake video. Are you crazy? That was a training video they made in the middle of doing it. It's not about kicking black and brown people out of the country. It's about making dumb motherfuckers like you scared. It's about getting you used to seeing the goddamn military in the middle of the street. That's what it's about. It ain't about no video. It's about making people scared to move in the street. He talking about his fake videos, zip tie. Them people was on the sidewalk with their kids. Are you crazy?
To pass
This man ain't lied not one bit.
away in their own fucking misery. You got the House, the Senate, the presidencies, the Supreme Court, and you still unhappy because it's not about no fucking eggs or tears. Economy going to shit. Y'all never cared. Y'all never cared. We don't even want to be amongst y'all. When they came up here after they beat the Confederacy, they took that plantation that Robert E. Lee was on and they turned it into Freedmen's Village where free slaves could come and work and live and grow. Once we're done with this, I never want to see y'all again. I want y'all exiled. I don't want to even be in the same vicinity as y'all. I don't even want to be in a state where I'm in a proximity of 100 miles of a fucking red hat. I want y'all gone. Fuck a purple revolution.
No, that man he didn't tell one lie. He didn't tell one lie. The problem is they are doing this to us because we are allowing it to be done. We are here because X, Y, and Z brought us here. Because a vote for Donald Trump brought us here. This is where we at. And I understand a lot of y'all don't want to turn. Y'all don't want to say y'all made a mistake. You don't think you made a mistake, but you did. You did it to be against something. You never did it to be for something. That's what it says, Black America. I keep telling you, y'all don't stand for nothing. You don't stand for nothing. The people who voted for Donald Trump, you don't stand for nothing. Because there's no way that you voted for that man and all these X, Y's, and Z's against this person. Because the first thing out of y'all mouth, every time I hear y'all talk, everybody that's over there, everybody who voted for it, every time I hear y'all talk, you say, I hate the gays, the trans, the blacks, the whites, the immigrants, the people who have abortions. I hear that the right-hand side, the righties, the MAGAs. That's all I hear y'all say. Y'all don't stand for nothing. You just hate everything. You just hate for everything. You hate everything. You hate the gays, the trans, the black, the white, the immigrants, the people who have abortions. Y'all don't stand for nothing. And there ain't shit in this world except your fucking word, what you stand for. If you don't have your word and you don't stand for shit, what the fuck good are you? Cause that's all I hear. Ain't not one person put in the damn chat. We want health care. We want X, Y, and Z. That dude on there told us what the Democrats want. He told y'all what we wanted. Universal health care. We want X, Y, and Z. We want X, Y, and Z. I ain't heard not now one Republican say what they want. Because y'all don't stand for nothing. It's always hate or against something. We against the gays. We against the lesbians. We against the trans. We against the people who have abortion. We against the people. You always against something. You're never standing for anything. You never stand for anything.
Wow, Purple Revolution guy really showed his true colors today. He also decided to change his username. In the matter of a week, he has already decided he doesn't want to come together with people on the left. He made it very clear he fucking hates everyone on the left. So I'm just gonna add that to the list of just another white guy that just woke up that tried to start a revolutionary movement that blew up in a week or two. I don't hate the idea of unity, though. I think it would be great for people to be able to fucking come together. The Liberty Network gal, she is a person of color who's been talking about starting a purple sort of revolution to bring people together for months now. She's much more qualified to lead something like that. And she actually has like legislation proposals drafted and shit. She's got a fucking plan. And I feel like this guy actually like got some momentum for the things she's been trying to do for fucking months now. Please go check out her page instead.
And I keep saying, you don't get if you don't get it, you just don't get it. I can't help it if you don't get it. Okay? You gotta stand for something, and you gotta stand for something. You just can't be hating everything. Everything you hate. You hate everything. You hate the gays. You hate the trans. If you one of those people that's all you do is hate the gays, hate people who have an abortion, hate the trans, hate the immigrants, hate the black and white, then you're the one that has the problem. You're the one that has you don't stand for nothing. You don't stand for nothing. You just stand against. You hate stuff. You don't stand for nothing.
Okay, so I want to talk about, I don't know everybody's so tired of talk about this Purple Revolution. Purple Revolution and Taylor Swift is up and down my timeline. I'm about sick both. But I do want to say this because I wanted to wait because I didn't want to talk about it. I wanted to see if other people would bring this up because there's so many videos. But
I just had somebody say, yeah, but I hate abortion too, Stu, but that's not going to make me vote for the Republicans because the Democrats are letting people have the choice to have an abortion. It's still not going to make me go over there. I don't care about the abortion issue. I care about the handicapped, disabled, elderly, and the poor kids. What are you for? Not what you hate, what you for. And I'm saying you Republican people, you don't stand for nothing because you don't have things that you're for. You just hate.
When she said, because I've seen a lot of people dragging Honey Badger, which is rightfully so. When Colt Knitting Lady said, you can either choose to accept them or not. The consequences of that is that they'll either go back into the cult or they may take their life, or like basically putting on to you their choices of grown fucking ass people. And she is equating and mixing MAGA the Children of God cult, those people were not in an open cult. They were pulled away. They were in these own little silos. MAGA is an open and free cult, just like the evangelical fundamentalist cult. They are different. And she did not grow up a fundamentalist Christian. So she is equating her experience. And I feel like sometimes you can feel like you're so much of a fucking expert, but you're not an expert in everything. You're not an expert in everything. She could not tell me who Charles Stanley is. She couldn't tell me that. She couldn't tell me, crazy ass Kay, what color is her hair today on the YouTube. She couldn't tell me that because she doesn't even understand these people. She could not tell you what happened to Beth Moore, the controversy around that, and what happened to her when she spoke up. She can't tell you about Tammy and her having an affair. I think with Michael W. Smith. She don't know shit about that. She don't know the history that, and I could sit with a MAGA person and they'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember, because we understand. She does not. She can just talk about being in Argentina and all the other places. So she's equating some. How about Jimmy Swaggart? Does Jimmy
Okay, let's go.
have a boundary? And if you get into a fight with them and they decide to go back to MAGA, then they weren't really truly waking up. Or if they decide to hang themselves because they have no community with MAGA, and you're willing and you are being intolerant to their racism, homophobia, and transphobia, they hang themselves in the closet.
And this is why this is why we say y'all have the homophobia, the transphobia, the Islamophobia. That's all y'all have is hate. You have hate. You don't have nothing that you stand for, because you can't never say, I wanna help the homeless. I wanna help the elderly. I wanna help the veterans. I wanna help. If you wanna help those things, you need to be you are for those things. Then you need to be on the side that helps with those things. But that's all y'all do is hate. I hate the gays. I hate the trans. I hate the immigrants. I hate that. Y'all don't stand for nothing. I just don't understand it. Y'all just
not your
don't stand
fault.
for nothing.
That is not on you. They are responsible. And I'm saying this as someone who has psychology degrees, saying this as a spiritual person. I'm saying this as a Catholic. I'm saying this as a baneful practitioner. You are not responsible for someone else's healing. Everyone is responsible for their own healing. MAGA still had access to the outside world, where a closed cult that's in the middle of a fucking jungle does not have access to the outside world. Okay? It is coming out of MAGA is not the same as coming out of the children of God. Coming out of MAGA is the exact same as coming out of fundamental Christianity. You deconstruct in the same fucking ways because you both have access to everything. You go to work. It's not even the same as Jehovah's Witnesses, because Jehovah's Witnesses don't even want people to get higher education. They don't even want people to even go into the internet.
I can't address the goofy shit. I can't address the goofy shit. I don't know why y'all, the goofy people, keep coming over here saying goofy shit. Stu, Carlos, Penelope. No, not Penelope. I'm sorry, not you, Penelope. Carlos. I don't know why you over here saying the goofy shit. Butterfly, just saying the goofy shit.
That is not how even fundamentalist Christianity is. Okay? MAGA and evangelical Christianity is so intertwined. It's almost the same. Okay? They have access to CNN just as much as they have access to Fox News. They have access to MSNBC just the same. Okay? They're open cults. Open cults are very different. They're very different. Okay? Now she wants to quit.
What truth hurts, Stu? What truth hurts? I don't even understand what you're talking about. Just dumb. Do I look like I'm on Section 8? Just dumb.
This to like Scientology was kind of open and kind of closed. If you join the Sea organization, that's another thing. But I don't want you to ever feel that it is your responsibility, that the choices that they make, that is on you. It is, yes, it is time for white people to use the tools that they have to tear down white supremacy and clean up the fucking mess that they made. But that does not mean it is your job to beat the cult out of people. They have to wake up on their own and they have to deconstruct on their own. Just because you wake up from a cult does not mean you're going to automatically be anti-racist, not be homophobic or transphobic and all of the things, okay? But because they have not fully deconstructed, it makes them dangerous to people in those communities, minority or white. A white trans person or a gay person should not have to be in community with someone who has said disgusting things to them that almost wanted to make them take their own lives. Your mama who kicked you out for being gay, it is not your responsibility once she wakes up from MAGA for you to take her in. It is not your responsibility. And I don't want you to ever feel that way. That is, y'all want to talk about white guilt? Do not listen to people who, see, there's a saying that we have that you're so heavenly minded that you're no earthly good. Sometimes people can be so academically minded that they are no earthly good. And that happens on the left and the right. You have so many people who can read all of Marxist things, but they have no practice whatsoever because they don't have an understanding. And this white lady over here that grew up in the fucking jungle in the cult has no understanding of what it is to be an evangelical and know what it is to be a MAGA evangelical. She has no understanding of that. You can't even equate to that. I cannot equate as a black. That is like me telling you what it's like to be black in Nigeria because we're both black. The color of our skin. We have the same melanin. But I'm going to tell you what it's like to grow up in a Nigerian household. No, the fuck I can't. I can't speak to that. But because I have Afro studies and I had a degree in all of these things, me having a degree in Afro this or that, what does not mean that I can speak to experience of, like, and I don't have these degrees. This is an example. If I had all these degrees and I traveled to Nigeria all the time, let's say I traveled all the time because I was initiated in Nigeria. I know who crowned me. I'm working with the Orisha. That would none of that would ever make me understand what it's like to grow up in a Nigerian household, because we have the same melanin, we have the same religious practice. Oshun is on my head. Oshun is on this Nigerian's head. I still don't understand that experience. And I think people have to have nuance about that. And then the honey badger and her soft voice. Having a bunch of degrees and being able to say big words does not make you an expert in every fucking thing. And having a not soft voice and doesn't make you an expert. And it doesn't make everything that comes out of your mouth in this soft tone rational. You see what I'm saying? Y'all got to cut through the bullshit. Some people may not know how to speak eloquently, but they know what the fuck they're talking about. They may use a lot of swear words, but they know what the fuck they're talking about. So
It's not about being X, Y, and Z. It's not about any of those things. It's the fact that our country should not be ran by people who don't give a damn about other people. Our country should not be ran by people who don't give a damn about other people. I said that a president has to deal with all of the country. And the problem is, Killer Priest, you have no idea about the left. You only think about you people on the right don't stand for anything. You don't stand for anything. You don't have any principles when it comes to other people. You don't stand for nothing. You only hate. The only thing you do is hate, hate, hate. I hate the gays, the trans, the blacks, the whites, the immigrants. That's all you do is hate. Okay. No, that's y'all. That's y'all. We don't hate gay people. We don't hate trans people. We don't hate immigrants. You all on the right do that. You all only hate. That's all y'all have is hate. That's all y'all have is hate. Y'all don't have nothing that y'all stand for. Y'all don't stand for nothing. That's the problem I have with you. You don't stand for anything. Okay. You can hate Black America. You can hate who you want. It just cannot be the deciding factor in voting. It just can't be the deciding factor in you voting. It's wild. But the whole point is, it's okay. I know y'all don't stand. I know the Republicans don't stand for nothing. That's the problem. I know you don't. Because every time I ask you guys, what do you stand for? Not one of you can put 3 things in the chat that you stand for. You hate, hate, hate. You hate the gays. You hate the trans. You hate the black, the white. You hate everything. You don't stand for nothing. You don't stand. No. Here's the thing. I stand up for the veterans. I stand up for the elderly. I stand up for the disabled. I stand up for poor kids. That means whatever political party is for kids who get school lunches, for kids who get help when they need it. That's the group. That's the party I stand for. Whatever party helps seniors get free medicine, seniors make sure they have housing, seniors make sure that they're not on the street sleeping, that's the party I vote for. Veterans, who take care of the veterans, who make sure the veterans got somewhere to stay, make sure the veterans get medication, make sure the veterans have hospital care. Whoever takes care of that person, that's the group I'm for. I stand for that group. Whatever group helps those people, that's the group I stand for. Okay? So that's what I stand for. What do you stand for? What do you look for? Not one of y'all can put anything up in the chat to say you stand for anything. All y'all do is the first thing out of y'all mouth, I don't like them gay people. Second thing out of y'all mouth, here they go. They're going to take my guns away. Although you don't even fucking use guns. You give a damn more about them guns than you do about the elderly sleeping on the street. Y'all don't stand for nothing on the right side. Y'all don't stand for nothing. Okay? You just hate gays, trans, black, white, black, brown, immigrants. You just hate all of that stuff. Okay? And you got to stand for something. Okay? And then I say, tell me what you stand for. Somebody say, my guns. Your guns don't mean jack shit. You don't use guns every day. You very rarely use guns. Why the fuck would you say, I stand for guns? I said something outside of... No, I'm sorry. I didn't make myself clear. Do you give a damn about anything outside of yourself? There you go. That's it. That's it. Do you give a damn about anything outside of yourself? So if you don't give a damn about nothing outside of yourself and you only give a damn about the stuff that affects you, that means you don't stand for anything. You don't stand for nothing. That's all you do is hate. And nobody wants to come over there to your side because you don't know how to care about anybody else besides yourself. Okay? That's the point. The point is you don't give a damn about other people besides yourself. That's all. I get it. I get it now. Y'all keep telling me and I keep hearing y'all say it. I just didn't believe it until I started hearing you guys say it. But this guy got on the internet. That guy got on the internet and he said, I want to start a revolution. This white guy. Hold on. Where is he at? Let me see. Let me show you him one more time. Where he at? Hold on. We gonna show him one more time. This guy. Where is he at? Because he said he was a Republican and he wanted us to come over there with him. I'm not sure whether he's in this or not.
Oh, Purple Revolution guy really showed his true colors.
Hold on.
Like, you come over here and there's a whole reactionary liberal firing squad that if you're not ready for that and you don't have, like, some real good understanding of leftist policies and politics and just the interactions of people on this side, you're just gonna have a bad day. And, I started my deconstruction journey, 10, 11 years ago, but if you'd put me in front of the firing squad like that, like, immediately after I had first made the original connection that this was all bullshit, I would have hated every single one of you. So, she did him that disservice of letting him think that he was going to come join the army and be a general.
No.
We told.
And the Purple Revolution.
Thank you.
This video is for Latinos for Trumps. Republicans already fooled you in 2024. Do not let them fool you again with this purple revolution.
Yes, Black America. I don't particularly care for gay people and the things they do, but that they mean very little to me. This little. I don't talk about them. I don't speak about them. I don't have no conversation about them. They don't make me decide that I'm going to fight for I'm going to vote for somebody else because they on that side. They don't have that effect on me. Your hate for them is more than what you care about other people. When you hate gays, trans, black, white, immigrants, you hate them more than you care about anything else, then you don't stand for nothing. What do you stand for? Why you worried about the gays why you worried about somebody who had an abortion? Why you worried about that? You a man. Why the fuck are you worried? Why are you making decisions based on an abortion when you ain't never gonna have one? And you probably ain't never gonna meet no woman who had one. No, I'm a Democrat, dumbass. It would have been anybody, regardless of whether it was Obama or not. Just dumb. You just dumb. You decided you wasn't going to vote for Obama because he was black. How about that? Jackass.
Revolution crap. If you haven't heard of the Purple Revolution, essentially Republicans have realized they fucked up and they want to try and get Democrats on their side to try and create this center Purple Revolution. Here's a meme that helps you boil down what the Purple Revolution is all about. And it's essentially about white people's comfort. See, currently white people are here and they're realizing that being here is uncomfortable for them. I mean, we know that this is horrible and uncomfortable for us, but for once in their life, being here is uncomfortable for them. Their businesses are struggling. They're having a hard time traveling. Their food is getting expensive. Essentially, it isn't the fascist paradise that they thought it was going to be for all of them. So they want to go back to a center, a purple revolution. But what does this hold for us, for people of color, for people from marginalized communities? It means we go back to business as usual, to a place where these people can attack us, these people can hurt us, these people are not held accountable for anything that they've done or probably will continue to do. We will continue to be marginalized. In some states, we will continue to be pushed out by laws or rhetoric or whatever state's law.
And then the Republicans think that the Hispanic people done woke the fuck up. That's all it took was y'all dragging them out of their houses and their jobs and deporting them people. That's all it took for y'all to do that. Now y'all got the independents moving the hell away. Y'all got the Hispanics moving the hell away. You got the blacks already moving away. I'm saying to y'all, stop hating people. Learn to be for something. I'm for the elderly, the veterans, poor people, X, Y, and Z. Stop hating people and start voting for things. Bumpy, that's just dumb. We get all of that. We get all of that, but they hate y'all more because y'all threw their ass out of the country and showed them that they wasn't nothing but dogs. Y'all showed them that they didn't mean shit. Okay? Y'all showed them that they didn't, white folks showed them that they didn't mean shit. The whole point is stop hating everybody. I'd be glad when y'all Republicans stop doing that. Start standing for stuff. Y'all don't stand for nothing. Y'all don't stand for nothing. That's all you do is hate. Stop hating everything.
All want to do to us. But at the end of the day, the center, mostly white people, can go back to their comfort, their Joe Biden December 2024 comfort. And this is why I'm telling Latinos for Trump not to trust the purple revolution. Because like I told you before, these people lie to you to get you on this side. They can create their white supremacist world and then throw you away. And now when they realize that the white supremacist world, at least in this form, is not really what they want. What they want is for all of it to go back in the shadows. They want to go back to a system that hurts people of color and white people are safe and growing. And I'm talking to Latinos for Trump on this because just like they needed you to bring about white supremacy, they need you again to help them get back to a place where white people are comfortable. Because here's something they're just figuring out that I've been trying to say for years. Latinos are the center, the core of this country. $4.1 trillion means that we help it run. And what the white supremacists, which they didn't want to admit in the beginning, but they have to admit now, is that they need us for their comfort. That's why, even though I'm all for unity, I'm saying fuck the purple revolution. Because what these racists want is for us to work with them, but them not take any accountability for anything they've done and, again, anything they could do in the future. Because they don't want to change the system to make things more equitable. They don't want to talk about immigrants' rights, LGBTQ members' rights, healthcare, women's rights, all those things that we are fighting for. They don't want it. At the end of the day, all they want is their comfort back. But it was never comfortable for us. So I don't want a purple revolution. I want a real revolution where we're all
a follow-up video responding to some of the negative pushback.
Black America, I don't deal with trans or gay people. I do know they deserve rights like everybody else. They down the street somewhere. I don't care where they go, how they go, long as they don't live in the house with me. But they don't make me make no decisions about them whatsoever. Whatsoever. I don't vote for no Republican because I don't want to vote for the Democrat because the Democrats support gays. Democrats have the policies that I support. So I'm going to vote for the Democrats regardless of whether they got gays on their side or not. My whole point is you should rise above it because you don't meet them every day and you ain't sleeping with none of them and they don't affect you one way or the other. That's the point.
I got on my Purple Revolution video. A lot of what I saw as far as negative pushback really boiled down to the left not willing to compromise, us not willing to sit at a table with y'all, us not willing to just come together and truck on through and just ignore all of the stuff, the lack of accountability that you all have in a lot of your ideologies. We tried to build a bridge with you all for over a decade. A decade. That's a long time to try and build a bridge, only for you all to burn it and laugh as every piece of lumber fell apart in that bridge. And some of you didn't necessarily laugh. Some of you stood there and were just okay with it. Some of you were bystanders while it was happening. Y'all were just like, well, I'm still going to vote this way. And I don't care what it does to those other folks over there on that other side of the bridge.
That's the whole point. You voted how you wanted to vote and you didn't care enough about the other people on the other side. See, here's the thing. There's gay people on that side, on the Democratic side. There's poor people on the Democratic side. There's elderly people on the Democratic side. There's people who are underemployed on the Democratic side. And over here on the right-hand side is a bunch of rich people. You poor, dumb motherfuckers who don't make enough money voted for the rich people instead of the poor people. That's what I can't get past. That's what I can't get past. You voted against your own fucking interest so you could vote for the rich people. That's what you did. That's the problem. Trump is cleaning up America. You just a dumb John. You just brainwashed. You just dumb, Mark.
So whether you were actively against the left or fully apathetic towards the left, you knew it was going to hurt those folks who were left-leaning. You knew it was going.
And some of y'all voted for the Republicans so you could hurt other people that weren't like you. So you can hurt other people that weren't like you. That's what makes you trash people. That's what makes you trash people, and you don't stand for anything. That's all. That's why I don't believe you people when you say you're Christians. I just don't. You're not Christians. You're not none of those. You just trash people.
Going to hurt marginalized groups. You knew it was going to hurt women. You knew it was going to hurt homosexuals. You knew it was going to hurt trans people.
So you knew closing the borders were going and kicking immigrants out was going to hurt people, right, Bruce? You voted for lower taxes to give to the rich because the big beautiful bill lowered the taxes for the rich, right, Bruce? And then fucked over the middle class, right, Bruce? Okay. You can't be so you voted for a person that might have an abortion, Bruce, instead of voting for the kids that are already here on this planet? Yeah, I get it. You voted for hate. You don't stand for nothing. You hate everything. You don't stand for nothing. I get it.
These things, and you were actively for it or apathetic towards it. You didn't care. And this happened over a matter of years where we tried to build that bridge and you just kept on tearing off the lumber and burning the lumber. And now you're trying to hastily piece together with some plywood over the bridge with a little bit of a TikTok move.
And how do you reconcile what God's mission was on this earth, Bruce? And you call yourself a Christian. The only thing you give a damn about is the babies in the womb. You don't give a damn about feeding the homeless or feeding the poor or feeding the homeless or any number of things that God said should be your mission. But you call yourself Christian because what? You're standing up for the babies in the womb that might be there? Ooh, Lord have mercy. Okay, whatever. You don't stand for nothing. You just hate.
Movement that gains a bit of traction. And it just doesn't work that way. You don't get to vote in the direction of PDF files being in our highest offices. Mm-hmm. You don't get to vote in the direction of people.
No, y'all sound crazy. Do you understand how crazy y'all sound? If you ain't no female, don't fucking talk to me about no damn abortion. If you ain't no fucking female, because it has nothing to do with you. Don't talk to me about female issues when it has nothing to do with you. You sound crazy as hell if you ain't no fucking man and you talking about abortions. Yeah, you sound delusional, Bruce.
Getting kidnapped and going missing because of the ineptitude and mediocrity of ICE agents. You don't get to vote towards those things and then sit at a table with me. You don't get to vote towards literal G-side and sit at a table with me and try to hash things out hastily over some days or even weeks or even months. And y'all are going to come at me with the whole, oh, the left, they just won't compromise. Oh, the left, they just don't sit down and like talk anymore. Like, oh my God, like we didn't already try over and over again. Like the brain.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You're very trash if that's all you can do is hate. You're very trash if that's all you can do is hate. I don't hate nobody. You're trash if you don't stand for anything. And that's all you do is hate. You're trash.
But it has to come.
Where's that guy? Where's she at? Hold on. Here we go. This last
To
one.
shut down your own,
Here we
tear
go.
down a system when you really.
This is our last one.
Part in the matter. So yeah, in conclusion, Purple Revolution, bullshit. Okay? The idea of the left and right unifying against the corrupt government, that idea is not bullshit. But it has to come from the right place, not from a save your own ass situation. Have a good day, guys.
Our permission to resist. The only ones wasting time are you. Number 4, follow the leadership of people already in the fight. Don't try to reinvent the wheel because y'all just got mad last week. There are movements, organizers, framework built by people who have been fighting, who have been resisting the empire before you even noticed it was burning. Learn from them, but do not try to lead them. Number 5, pick a side and stay there. Because if your revolution still leaves room for white supremacy, Christian nationalism, racism, and patriarchy, then it's not a revolution. It's a remix of the same oppression. You want to fight a revolution, baby, that's fine. But do not expect to lead the people that you've ignored while we've been fighting this fight. Y'all don't need us to tell y'all how to rebel. Y'all already showed us on January 6th that y'all know how to tear down a system when you really want to.
So my whole point is, maybe we can do this red revolution. Maybe we can do this purple revolution at some time. Okay? Maybe we can do it at some time. But we definitely can't do it now. Because, we don't have the unity, and we don't have the unity, and we don't have the Republicans that know how to look outside themselves to do this kind of thing. Because when you can't look outside yourself, there's no way for you to do anything to help anybody else. Specifically, if you can't look past the hatred that you all have for each other and other people, there's no way that we can do some kind of revolution and overthrow all of these rich people when we have all these people we have all these people that want to fight with each other. Because you don't want to fix anything. You don't want to stand for anything. You don't want to jointly stand for anything. Jointly stand for something means everybody get on board and get universal health care. That means red and blue. Is that something we can unite with? No, because the right don't want to give people health care. Can we unite on school free lunches for kids in the schools? Can we reunite because of that? Can we have a common goal? No, we can't. Because the Republicans don't stand for nothing. You don't stand for nothing. There's nothing jointly that would be universal for everybody that we can join together. And that's why I say this movement, this purple revolution, can't happen until you get Republicans on board that care more about other people than themselves. Okay? And there's a lot of people on the left who are being asked to unite with those on the far right. I get it. Including a lot of MAGA supporters, and it's called the Purple Revolution. But I have to be honest with you. The people who caused so much division, which was you people who voted for Trump, the people who caused so much division and harm cannot just fix it overnight. You just can't. The true change requires self-reflection, a deep self-reflection on the right side, and a willingness to admit when you voted to harm other people, you voted against other people, you voted to harm people. That's the thing. We didn't vote. The people on the left didn't vote to harm people. We didn't vote to harm nobody. It was you people on the right that voted to harm people. So if you're not willing to admit that that's what you did, without that, there's no foundation for real unity. This purple revolution can't never happen because the right never takes that accountability. So following leaders who haven't shown regret or humility, Republican leaders who have not shown regret or humility for their vote that they took, is a risk that most people on the left, we ain't going to be able to take. We're not going to be able to do it. We're not going to be able to help you. Okay. One of the biggest problems is that some of the people on the far right still question the humanity of people who don't look like them or think like them. That's a line we on the left will not be able to cross. We ain't going to be able to do it. Because you all, with you voting for Trump, you guys are dangerous. You guys are dangerous to the health of half of the country. The people who don't understand the danger that they put other people in, you don't understand that you're dangerous. Okay? Humanity, people's humanity isn't negotiable. It's not negotiable. And you Republicans are not, you don't concern yourself about humanity. And so that means you're dangerous. You're dangerous to everybody on the left. Okay? A movement that ignores people's humanity is not just vague, it's catastrophic. We can't do it. We can't compromise on whether people deserve respect. That means gay and trans people and black and brown people. I'm not going to argue with you about humanity. Ain't nobody going to argue with you about the humanity of another person, about the dignity, about the respect, the safety. No matter what political goals that I want, I'd rather this motherfucker burn down than to join with you people or you MAGA people when you don't recognize that gays and lesbian, trans and all of them are human beings too. When you don't recognize that, there's nothing to talk about. I'm not going to talk to you about your humanity. You tell me that you don't want to give free lunch to poor kids. I'm not going to talk to nobody that don't want to give kids free lunch. Because that means you don't stand for nothing. That means you don't give a damn about nothing outside yourself. You just don't. For a movement like this to happen, for a movement like this purple movement to happen and have credibility, leadership has to include a whole bunch of voices that include white, black, Hispanic, brown, who are committed to defending human dignity. People who have lived experiences of oppression, discrimination, marginalized people. And then there needs to be some accountability for where we are. We are here because MAGA and the Republicans drug us here. You brought us here. Albeit I say you fucked up. But that's my thought. You fucked up. Okay? Y'all fucked up. Okay? So this has to be a platform that doesn't include just your thoughts and prayers. Without the diverse leadership, it ain't gonna work. Some people on the right are only interested in unity because they feel personally affected by what happened. You only care about this shit. You only care now after shit happened. After shit finna hit the fans. The farmer shit finna hit the fans. The tariff finna hit the fan. Food finna hit the fan. We all finna be fucked up in here. Everybody finna be fucked up in here. And you only care because it's finna affect you, not because you genuinely care about justice or equality. I'm not saying all of y'all in the chat. I'm saying whoever voted for Donald Trump, you didn't care about other people. You cared about yourself, which means you don't stand for nothing. There's nothing that you stand for. You hate. You hate the trans, the gays, the browns, the blacks, the immigrants. You hate all them people. You don't stand for nothing. You hate. Okay? And I get it. True reconciliation will only come from recognizing that you did harm to other people besides yourself. You did harm. People who voted for Trump did harm. Take responsibility for that. Commit to change. We have a shot, 2026. Vote the Republicans out. So we can have our country back. So we can get our country back. Okay? And do it because it benefits not you, but it benefits the rest of the country. It benefits the whole of the country, not just you. Any meaningful effort at bridging the divide must start with the honesty and accountability that you all have to take for bringing us here. You all brought us here. We didn't vote for Trump. Y'all voted for Trump. Y'all brought us here to the brink of destruction. Y'all brought us here to where tariffs is killing our economy, where tariffs have already ravaged farmers, put people out of business. All these people are laid off. All these people fired from the government. Contractors, regular people, workers, all these people fired. We already involved in 2, 3, 5 wars that we ain't got no business being involved in. All kinds of shit we ain't got no business being involved in. Y'all brought us here. So there's accountability y'all need to take. Shitty. Not for you, for everybody else. Okay? Not you. It was the Republic. Y'all brought us here. He ain't dropped no gas prices because he can't affect gas prices. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I'll be back here tomorrow evening, and we'll be talking about, I forgot. It's something. It'll be on the board. We have to talk about something else, because this is depressing. Sure, he's ended 8 wars. 8 wars ain't even occurred, but he ended 8 wars. I got you. Okay? Trump ended 10 wars. He ended 15 wars. No, you might as well go and say he ended 20 wars. Are you serious right now? Are you serious? But that's neither here nor there. It is what it is. We will be back here tomorrow at 10 o'clock. No, we ain't upset. We just resigned. We've been here. We black and brown people been being treated like trash. Now it's y'all white people turn. Now it's your white people turn. Now it's time for y'all to feel the heat. I appreciate it. Hopefully y'all hit the like button or the hate button, whichever one. Out, coming in and coming out. Please hit the like button coming in and coming out. I appreciate all of that. I appreciate all. Biden started the war, and made Israel attack Iran. Fred, really? I didn't even know Biden ain't nowhere near here. What you mean? Fuck you mean? Well, y'all just be saying stuff. Just be saying stuff. I swear. Y'all just be saying stuff. I see y'all tomorrow. I can't with y'all. I can't.